On September 18, 2016, parliamentary elections took place in Russia. Very predictably, the United Russia Party, controlled by current President Vladimir Putin, emerged victorious, with over 54% of the vote. And it will form a constitutional majority in the new parliament, that is, the Russian State Duma. Voter turnout was a miserable 47.78%, the lowest in the history of the Russian parliamentary elections. Turnout was especially low in Moscow and St. Petersburg, where just over 30% of voters showed up at polling stations. In the opinion of analysts, this result reflects Russian society's general disillusionment with government and the political process, and its passivity in the face of this. Analysts also feel that Russian society does not believe in the effectiveness of, or even the need for, parliament in a state where political power is, in actuality, fully concentrated in the hands of one person, that is, the president. Indeed, as a result of these most recent elections, the Kremlin will enjoy a strengthened position of power. Although election observers noticed many violations and vote rigging in the Russian parliamentary elections, these violations did not seem to swing the vote so significantly as to change the overall result. However, one feature of these elections casts real doubt on the legitimacy of the new State Duma. The Russian-occupied Crimea was included in the electoral process, although legally it is part of Ukraine. The new Russian State Duma will now include 4 deputies from the Crimea, elected in single-member districts. Also, the election of over 1/4 of the other Duma deputies was affected by the proportional party vote in the Crimea. According to Ukrainian parliamentarians, these facts make the new Russian State Duma illegitimate. Thus, on September 20th, the Supreme Council of Ukraine passed a resolution whereby it will recognize neither the legitimacy of the elections in the annexed Crimea, nor the legitimacy of the Duma elections overall. At the same time, the Supreme Council appealed to the United Nations, the European Union, and individual countries to follow suit. And while other states did not go as far as Ukraine in their denouncements, nonetheless a number of them, including the European Union, United States, Canada, and the individual European countries of France, Germany, Poland, Sweden, and Romania, have already officially stated that they do not recognize the results of the Russian parliamentary elections in the Crimea. And the list of protesting countries grows by the day. In legal terms, this may effectively call into question the legitimacy of any future decisions made by the new Russian State Duma. In the Russian parliamentary elections undertaken on the territory of the annexed Crimea, voter turnout was even lower than in Russia. And according to the leader of the Crimean Tatar Mejlis, Rifat Chubarov, these elections were almost fully boycotted by the Crimean Tatars. I'm Tania Stech, and this was Ukraine in the News.